We are live. We are live for the last session. Yay! Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining again. Oh my goodness, it's been a week. It's been a week. Thank you, proactive parents, for being here. Thank you, parents. I don't take this honor for granted that this conference was organized by the academy, and parents are joining in and out of sessions to learn. And before I get started, I would like to share a brief again about the Proactive Parents Conference. The Proactive Parents Conference, this is the 3.0. We have hosted it for 3 years. And when I was led to go online with this conference, it was primarily to ignite conversations, conversations that will bring in transformation, that will bring in evolution through parenting education, that will also impact parents of young children. Because I realized that the struggle actually starts when our children are really pretty young. Because we do not realize that there's a disconnection at the time when they were young, you get into some points, like Prof just broke down the ages for us. You get into some point, probably 7 to 9, 7 to 10, you begin to realize that you're struggling with a child, you're fighting with him literally. And it is because you didn't realize that there was a disconnection long ago. It has ruined so many children, it has ruined so many adults today, because there's a disconnection that happened between them and their parents long ago, and they couldn't continue trusting their parents in their journey, and so they made lots and lots of mistakes that damaged their whole life, and they grew to become adults who are truly dysfunctional and not really effective with their life. So it's been a journey, and that's why we are extending a hand of fellowship and a hand of love to our generation with the parenting education we are bringing in the conference. Part of it is the conference that we host yearly to ignite these parenting struggles, these parenting challenges, these parenting conversations that will help parents to, get awakened, reawaken the consciousness of parents, so that we can begin to turn and right if we see the areas where we're not doing well in the whole of the thing we are doing in the parenting with our children. So primarily that's what parenting and proactive parents conference is all about. It's about igniting a conversation that will help parents to get up, to wake up, to stop being parents that are on slumber, like the scripture will say, wake up from your slumber. So that's why we have these conversations yearly. So welcome everybody again. Today I am talking about I'm talking about proactive parenting at a time like this. At a time like this. So what exactly is the time that we are living in, and that we are saying a time like this, a time like this, and speakers also have had topics that narrowed it down to share on a time like this. What is that time? When is that time that we are living? And that's where I want to start with a question: what time are we living in? So let me also ask parents that are watching me, what let me also ask you, what is the time that we're living in? Is a question I have just said, what is it about? And then I'm throwing it back at you and saying, what is that time that we're living in? And so I'll be giving you a few tips of the time we live in, because many of us have not realized that the time we are living in is no longer the time of our parents. The time we are living is no longer the time of our grandparents. It's no longer the time of, oh, the typical African man. Oh, we are typical Africans. Like Prof just said, in as much as we know that the typical African culture, demeans a child, and does not recognize the place of childhood being a time when you should be careful with all of the things you're doing. You can just do anything to a child because you're just the parents. We know that that's the extreme. That's the extreme. And so as African parents, as global citizens, because we're no longer limited in the African circle. We are now raising children that are global citizens, digital natives that can operate anywhere in the world and still compete on the global stage. And so, what are the times we live in that we're raising our children in? The first place I want you to know is we live in a very sexualized world. We live in a very sexualized world, like it's getting crazier every day. Permit me to use that word. It's getting crazier every day, and everybody is welcome, Jane. Thank you for joining. Everybody is going haywire. That's the world we are living in. We live in a world where the attention of our children are being drawn to so many things. That's number one place you should know where we are raising children. Attention of the pop culture is drawing the attention of the children. The pop culture is there. The sexual crisis is there, where children are seeing that a boy can change to a girl can change to a boy. There's gender confusion, crisis in the sexuality also is part of it, is also where children do not understand, do not know what they should be doing with their genitals. Their genitals can be touched, their genitals can be rubbed, their genitals can be done, used for anything. And so is a sexual crisis that they are facing, and that we are raising children in the time when there's this problem. And another thing is gender confusion. A girl can become a boy. That's what they preach. Well, that's what our children are hearing every day. You can turn yourself to a boy. You can turn yourself to a girl. They see girls do like boys. They see boys do like girls in different things. Cross gender is there, drawing their attention, telling them it's normal, it's okay to choose where you want to belong. And antisocial behaviors. For instance, in Nigeria, um, Ronke Posh talked about it, I think, on the fourth day. In Nigeria, where Yahoo is actually fraud. For people who are watching us outside of Nigeria, Yahoo is actually fraud. And Yahoo is one of the antisocial behaviors that is reigning, is trending, is something that, if you're not in the big boys doing Yahoo, then you don't know what is happening. And our children, we are raising children at a time when this antisocial behavior is trending, is actually trending. And so we are raising children also in a time, a world that is filled with LGBTQ, pushing the agenda of LGBTQ. If you're here in the last session, you hear Coach Obina talking about LGBTQ agenda and the propagandas of all these things and how they push millions. She was asking me if I heard about a coach that was giving a coach in the porn and drug industry, drug and addictive rehabilitation industry, where he was given 95 million that LGBTQ should be, allowed to spread in schools, especially in Christian schools. This is just a little of what you may know about the people who propagate this agenda. We have seen, as a coach working in parenting industry, I've heard lots and lots of things. We've seen lots and lots of offer, given to people who are speaking against all of these vices. And we are raising children in a world that propagates these things. These things that they are propagating are also seeking the attention of our children, if you do not know. They are also drawing the attention of our children and letting our children know that, come, you have a choice to make. You can actually be like this. That's the number one place we should know. We should know about the time that we're raising children. The second thing we should know about the time. Okay, someone said in the comment section that some parents actually support their children doing Yahoo. Yes, because it's actually something that is trending, and everybody is, hailing people because of a mixed value and mixed priority and the mixed value system that we have today. People are being hailed for doing it. People are being, because they come in here, they spread money, they give you whatever your demand is and all of that. 18 years, 14 years, and all of that. Nobody is interested in the values. So people are applauding them. And someone is saying parents are applauding their children for doing such a thing. This is where we are raising our children, the world we are raising our children in. The second place we should realize that we are raising our children in is that we are raising our children in a world that is filled, a time, not a world, a time. The second thing we should know about the time when we are raising our children is that we are raising our children in a time where knowledge is the new gold. That's actually a caption of a book that I read sometimes 5 years ago, yes, if I can remember, authored by Stephanie Obi. Stephanie Obi is the first person that launched an online course in Nigeria. And I read that book and I'm like, wow, 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 wow. That was 2018. We are raising children in a time when knowledge is actually a new gold. Knowledge is trending. Knowledge is an industry. So we are raising children that are going to have access to so much information, so much that we didn't have in our time. We didn't have. So you can't sit down and say, what's the big deal about this raising children now? Our parents didn't need to do this and that and that. No, the world we are living in is not the world our children are living in. Our children's world is totally, totally different from us. Our world has gone. Like our world is no longer existing. And the third thing you should know about the time we live in is that we live in a digital era. We are raising children in a digital era. We are raising children where the digital is the king. The digital is the king, the digital is the solution carrier, and the digital is breaking barriers. No matter where you are in the world, as long as you have the internet, you can access anybody anywhere in the world. So this is the stage where we're raising our children. So our children can actually access anywhere, anything, anybody around the world. That's where we're raising children in. And then the second part of my session is how can we become proactive parents? How can we become proactive parents? What is needed for us to become proactive parents? But before we go into that, I would like to define parenting from the way Irene Bangwell is an educator and a parent coach who work with girls. Her handle is Raising Girls with Irene Bangwell. And Irene Bangwell defined parenting in a way that so much touches me. I know several other, I have my own definition of parenting and several that I shared in my book and several other parenting definitions. But I like to use Irene Bangwell for the sake of this session. Irene Bangwell's definition of parenting says, parenting is you packing your child's bag for a life journey. Packing your child's bag for a life journey. So if truly we are the ones packing our life, you know the way you're traveling and you're packing things, you remember you've not bought towel, you've not bought stockings, you've not bought sweater, and I'm traveling to a cold zone place, you've not bought this, you've not bought that, and you're buying and packing, buying and packing, buying and packing. That's exactly what we do with our children. We are packing their spiritual bag, packing their mental bag, packing their psychological bag, packing their physical bag, packing everything about their life. Everything. So emotionally, socially, academically, every area of their life, we are the ones packing it in the bag that we're carrying for their journey, for their life journey. Because when we get to the bus stop, the way you come to the bus stop and you board a bus, or you come to the airport and you board your flight, and you just say bye to your children, or your children say bye to you, depending on who is traveling physically. But in this case, for the scope of this session, we're talking about packing our children's bag for their life journey. And so you get to that bus stop, which is 18 years, and you just tell your children bye, and they will leave. What are they living with? At the time when you're saying bye and you're just, hugging yourselves and saying, all right, I'll talk to you, this and that. By that separation time, when they are now the ones in charge, leading their life, will they be able to lead or live all of the things that you have imparted or you did not impart in them? This is a call for question. This is a call for meditation. This is a call for thinking through. That's about packing bag. Now, what are those things that we need to be proactive? We need us to work, in being proactive parents. I have listed few things that I'm going to be sharing, and in all of my sharing, I'll be taking it, interchanging many of the things that I'll be using to share, including my book. Including my book. Number one is have a vision. For you to be proactive, you cannot just be proactive empty-handed. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. For you to be a proactive parent, you must have a vision. Where is your family going to? Where is your family heading to? Jane is here. She's part of the Build Your Home tribe. She's part of our tribers in the Build Your Home. We are where we handhold ourselves to break these things down. One of the things we do early in the Build Your Home tribe, as you get into the tribe, is to for you to create a vision of where your family is going to. Where is it that your family is heading to? Because proactive parenting is about seeing tomorrow from today, seeing the end from the beginning. So if you are not working with a vision, you're going to make a mess. You're going to miss the mark. The scripture said in Habakkuk 2:2, the Lord said to Habakkuk, write the vision, make it plain. And what is vision? A short statement that describes what the long-term goal is. So the vision of your family is going to be showing the long-term goal. The vision we have for our family, that a dynasty, we call our family a dynasty, is showing our long-term goal, not only from us and when we are living, of our children. Our children know that this vision is something that we want to transfer from us to them, from them to their children, and it will be ascribed to us that, oh, in this people's family, in this people's dynasty, no, they don't do this or they don't do that, or they do this and they do that. There's something going to be peculiar about our dynasty that is going to run from generation to generation. And that's why we created that vision together with our children. And from age 2, they started hearing about our vision. We have a document where they see it written plainly, and we talk about it every day in different aspects of our life to know whether our vision is what we are working with or not. So you must have a vision that your family have. So if you come into the Build Your Home tribe, the first thing we do is to make you have a vision for your family. You start creating, you start thinking tomorrow. You start thinking posterity. You start thinking future. You start thinking legacy. What is it that after you want to see wherever you are? What is it that after you, after your children, your biological direct children, you want your name to carry it on? Posterity. What is the legacy you want to give to your children? Legacy is not building houses, buying estate. No, please. That's not legacy. Your children will do away with all those houses you're buying for them if you do not invest in them. We are coming to that. I don't want to run out ahead of myself. We are coming to how to invest in them. So what is that vision that your family have? What is the vision that your family have? So you need to start working on a vision that will outlive you. That after you, your children will be saying, no, in this family, this is the way we run it. And after your children, your grandchildren are there to say, no, we met it like this. This is the way we do it. That's what vision is about. That's why the Lord said to Habakkuk, write it and make it plain. And after making it plain, what do? Run with it. That's what the scripture said. Run with it. So what's the vision that your family is going to be running with? I have a vision, a document, a short document that shows who we are in our dynasty, so that my children will know that it's not about our small family, our unit that they are saying today. It's about posterity. That's why we call it a dynasty. It's about posterity. It's about future. It's about legacy. It's about what it is that after me, after them, it outlives all of us. And it keeps going. But someone instituted it. Someone instituted it. I am living some of the visions that my father had for us. I am living, myself and my siblings are living some of the visions that my daddy created as a vision for us in the family. And he also was building or built on some of the ones that his father laid for them. That's what parenting with vision is about. That's what posterity is about. That's what legacy is about. So in the Build Your Home Tribe, we make you to start seeing legacy, to start seeing posterity from today, from now. You will be living and you're seeing your future. That's what vision is about. The goal lies in what you can see. What can you see? What can you see? You know, God said to Abraham, I think in Genesis 13, if I can remember, God said to Abraham, as far as your eyes can see, I will give you and your descendants those lands. As far as your eyes can see. So your vision is about what you can see, really. What can you see about your family today? What can you see about your baby that you're carrying today that is 2 years, that is 1 year, that is 6 months? What can you see about your family after 10 years? What can you say about next year? What can you say about 5 years to come? What can you say about 20 years from now? What can you say about 100 years from now? That's vision. So what you can see, you will have access to. That's what it is all about. As far as your eyes can see, I will give you and your descendants. That's what God said to Abraham. And talking about vision, there's a story, a trailer that we read, myself and my husband, I think, I can't remember, sometime towards the end of last year, if I can remember, something, propelled us to read that trailer. That trailer was going viral, and it is about Richard Williams, Richard Williams, the father of Serena Williams. What was the trailer about? I can't remember the man's name now. The Hollywood actor who was writing that trailer about Serena Williams' father, Richard Williams. And he said something about the trailer. People were just subscribing. People were subscribing to know about what the trailer is all about, And he said something about Serena Williams' father. He did something amazing. That's why it's important for you to understand that it is about vision. It is about what you can see. Serena Williams' father was raising his children, in that trailer that we read. He was raising these children in not so good an environment, He was limited in his finances, in a constrained environment. But he did not allow that environment to limit his children. Of 78 pages. 78 pages. So I said to my husband in that what is it called now, in the trailer that we read, I said to my husband, can you imagine such a huge vision? Can you imagine such a huge vision by a man who was raising his 2 daughters in a limited, environment? What did he do? He compiled a 78 manifesto, 78 pages. And when we're reading, my husband said something jokingly. My husband said, even Dangote, that's the richest man in Africa, doesn't have 78 pages manifesto. You know what that means? He doesn't have 78 pages manifesto. That was a man who was working with vision in his mind. He hadn't seen then, he didn't know how, but he had this vision that he wants his children to be the best in whatever they're going to do in the future. And so he implanted something and was working with that vision, and it showed in the life of Serena and her sister, in the football space. That is a man who parented with vision. So when we read that trailer, we looked at it and I told my husband, indeed, no businessman, the highest businessman, doesn't have 78 pages manifesto. But a man was raising his two daughters, and his vision was to see that his two daughters become the best in whatever field, in whatever way, God, in whatever purpose and destiny God has for them. They should be the best, or they will be the best. And today we're hearing Serena Williams, Serena Williams, Serena Williams. We do not know what their father or their parents did in their life. That's what vision can do for you. You may not really know and see it all now, but because you are already seeing the way God said to Abraham, as far as your eyes can see, and your eyes is seeing far, it will show in your children, because you will invest all of the things that you're seeing in your children. The people that are in Build Your Home Tribe know that one of the things I tell them is investing in your child now is key for you, because either way, you're going to make the investment. If you do not do it now that they are children, you will do it later. And probably that later, you may be doing it in tears, and it will be more painful. I'm talking from experience. I've seen parents who are actually investing at the time when damage has come, and they are crying in doing the investments. That one is damage control. You don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So investing in your children at this time, when they are little, when they are small, by going for knowledge so that you do not limit your children, is very key. So get a vision. Number two thing you're going to be doing for you to be proactive, or you should know as a proactive parent, is to understand time and season. Time and season. The caption we took from the scripture for this conference is First Chronicles 13. In First Chronicles 13, the scripture recorded that it took the men of Issachar to have the understanding of the time. They understood what Israel was supposed to do at the time. And that's why they were able to do the exploits they did in their time. So don't sit back and say you can just do what you want or what works for you. If you don't understand the time and the season you're raising your children, you're going to make a mess of your children, irrespective of how much you love them. It's not about loving your child. You can love your child and still ruin the destiny of that child. No parent that does not love the child, no one. So everything you see that has happened in the dysfunctionality of any human being actually happened out of unintentionality of the parents, on not being aware and not being conscious. It's not because the parent does not love their child. Every one of us, including our parents, including our great-grandparents, every generation of parents that have raised any child, they love the child. But everybody is working with the knowledge he has access to. While they were flogging you, while they were beating you, while they were hitting you, while they were doing any punitive measures they used, they were doing it out of love. For them, they wanted to show you love, not knowing that it's going to destroy you. Not knowing that it's going to destroy your self-esteem. Not knowing that it's going to destroy your confidence level. They were doing it out of love. So it's not about love. You can love your child and destroy your child. So in understanding season, I'll also share a story with you. Season has to do with seed time. Like Coach Chinyere said, she was just speaking my mind when she was talking about seed time. What are you implanting now? What is the seed you're sowing today? Are you investing in yourself to be able to help your children? Or are you investing in the frivolities? The same person who says, no, I can't register for this Build Your Home. This fees is 50,000 per annual, can pay 50,000 for Ashebi that is happening one day. Can run birthday party that is, you will spend hundreds of thousands. I'm not saying they are not good, but understand time, understand season, understand there's a time to sow and there's a time to reap. Harvest time, when you start harvesting, you just keep harvesting. But the scripture recorded about seed, that there's a time to sow the seed. So if you don't understand that there's a time to sow the seed, you won't understand that there's the season you're in now. And I know I am speaking to parents of young children. So your child is 1 to 12. You're already running late if your child is 7, 8, like Prof shared in his session, the different times. You're already running late, 7, 8, 9, because your children are already forming their opinion. Experimental time. They've already formed their opinion with what they see, what they hear, what they see hear from their peers, what they do in classes, and all of that. It is even going to be even more added work for you. That notwithstanding, you're still on the track. But if you have teenagers that are 18, 17, 16, you know that it is more difficult. You know that it's more difficult. That's what Prof shared and said. That's the time they tell you, leave me alone to live my life. My parents do not want to understand me. I want to have my freedom. I've grown. I'm an adult. This and that. They start telling you I'm an adult from 14, 15. The children I'm going to be speaking to in my parish on Monday, one of them said to me when I asked her, I hope you registered for the Save the Teens program that is coming up. She said, yes. My mommy registered though, but she said she will be the one to take us, that we will not come when we want. I want my mother to understand that I'm an adult. I said, how old are you? And we laughed over it. She's 15. To tell you that age of independence, you can no longer do much if you have not done so much when they are little. And trying to talk about and season, I want to share a story with you that will inspire you. Some time ago, my husband and I read a book written by Barack Obama. Barack Obama is the first Black president of America. And he wrote a book titled, if I can remember, The Dreams of My Father, or Dreams of My Father. I can't remember how he put it, either The Dreams of My Father or Dreams of My Father. And in that book, Barack Obama shared on how his father wanted to be a successful man in America. This was an immigrant that came from Kenya. He came from Kenya as an immigrant. He came to America when racism was at the peak. But he did not look at it. He said, no, I can't allow racism to limit me. No way. I need to do what I need to do to become successful here. And he did all he could at the time. It may interest you to know that Barack Obama's father was not really pronounced in his life like that. He was a Kenyan man that was an immigrant in America, and that had a white woman as his wife. So he wasn't really pronounced because racism was at the peak when he came in the life of his son. But he did something amazing. Something amazing. And when I read books, I tell my husband, we must pick lessons that resonates with us. Everything may not resonate with you according to your value system. He was not pronounced in the life of his son. That doesn't resonate with us. In my family, myself and my husband, is a must for us. It's a responsibility we've signed up for, to be part and parcel of our children's life. There's nothing like my mommy. In fact, I agree as an adult to know that women are even taking up many of the responsibilities in the home. As a child, my mommy was relaxing. When a woman is relaxing, then the head, the leader, is actually doing his job. My daddy took the forefront of raising his 9 children. So my mommy was a relaxed woman, just taking the lead of the husband from what it is that he wants all of us to do part-time. So that didn't resonate with us, and I told my husband, the man was not, pronounced in his son's life. That is not part of our what is it called now? Part of the thing we are taking. It doesn't resonate with us. But there are many things that resonated with us, with our family value, with our value system in our home, and we picked those lessons immediately. And one of them is that he imprinted something in the life of Barack Obama. He imprinted being successful despite being an immigrant in the life of Barack Obama. And that propelled Barack Obama to start thinking differently. Notwithstanding that, oh, we're Africans that came from Kenya. Oh, I have this background of a Kenyan father and American mother, and I have this mixture of parenthood. But then I don't want to be limited because my dad said nothing will limit us, and he worked with that thing, that seed that his father implanted in him, which is nothing should limit us. Did his father become the first president in America? No. Did his son become? Yes. Why did his son become? Because his son ran with a seed implanted in him. So what is that seed you're implanting in your children now? What is that seed that you're investing, taking your time, weeding it, pruning it, so that it will grow and blossom in your children's life? I know that down here in this part of the world, many of us are focusing on academics. Oh, school, my children's school. Hey, the school they are in. School fees is expensive. This and that, da. I'm not saying academics is not important. It's the foundation. Yes, very key. I'm a bookie. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a bookie person. In this conference, we had 3 professors. So far, I have been to various seminars and conferences of parents like this, and I know that God gave us the gifting of men. In the Proactive Parents Academy, we had 3 professors. To tell you, I am not someone you just say, no, they don't like this and don't know anything about academics. It's not true. It's not true. I am trying to say that despite all of the things that we want to see in our children, many times we just focus on academics. Academics is important, but that's not all your child needs. That's not all your child needs. So what did Barack Obama's father do? He imprinted and sowed that seed of, you are not limited in any way. You cannot be limited. Despite being an immigrant from Kenya, you will be successful in this place. And for you to be successful, we must do something differently. And that seed that he implanted in the son, despite not being pronounced in his child life, he wasn't available, very available for him, according to the book. Yet the son, something stuck in his head. What is sticking in your children's head today? Your 3-year-old, what is sticking in his head now? Is it that mommy is always shouting? Daddy is always flogging? Daddy is always giving punishments? Daddy doesn't play with us? Daddy is not friendly? Mommy is not friendly? Is that what is sticking in your head? Wake up. Wake up from your slumber. We are raising children in a different season and a different time. And if you do what it is that you know from your parents, you're going to make a mess of those children's destiny. So let's reflect. I put down and said, there's a seed implanted in Barack Obama, and he ran with it. To tell you the link between seed, vision, and dreams. What are the dreams you have today about this your 3-month-old baby? What are you seeing? There's a link between dreams, vision, and seed. So your seed time is now. Your seed time is now, that your children are quite young, if you still have young children anyway. But even if you don't have, this is a wake-up call for you. The link between these 3 is that it bets greatness in our children. Barack Obama's father sowed that seed in him, and he ran with it. And that bettered a great man, the first Black African president in America. He bettered a great man. So we need to understand that seed time and the season of sowing the seed is very crucial. Very, very crucial. You can't just sow seed anytime. Not in the dry season, you come and start sowing corn. It's not possible. It's not going to do anything. Nothing will happen. Nothing will come out of it. You must sow it at the rainy season, when rain will see those seeds and they will start germinating on the ground. That's what seed time does for you. So what are the tools needed for proactive parenting? Number 1, family values. Chris Chukwunyere shared on day 4 that value starts from you. Unfortunately, many of us do not even understand what values are. I agree that value can change from time to time, and as our children are growing, our values keep changing from time to time, from different things that are priorities at the time. But you must understand that you cannot raise a healthy family if you don't have a family value system crafted, documented. Your children are seeing it. Their children know the values they stand for. Your children understand why they are living or having those values. That's number one. That's the number one tool. And you can't be proactive without having a value system that is your children know about. You can't be proactive. Proactive about what? What are you proactive in? If you don't have a value system that is standing before you, standing before your children, and your children understand this is who we are. This is what defines us. No, 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 in our family, we don't do this. No, 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 in our family, no, 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 we don't do that. We don't do this. I shared quite a number of things about value system in my book. I'm coming to that. That's number one thing you have to know, you have to have as a tool for proactive parenting. Number two, developing every area of your child's life. You cannot be proactive if you're academics. Academics is very important. That's the foundation. For child's life. And in developing these areas of a child's life, I will share from my book. And I said, in your child's developmental areas that you must focus on and develop them, very, very critical, very, very key for us. You must develop. Spirituality is not about taking your children to church or taking them to fellowship. That's not spiritual. Today or fourth day rather, yesterday, about spiritual intelligence. It starts from you. You cannot lead your children to God if you are not connected to God yourself, who is the source and summit of our life. So spiritual intelligence is about you connecting to the source of all spirits, and then teaching your children to be aware about the knowledge of God and helping them develop this intelligence by the relationship or with the relationship they have with you. Because your relationship with them is going to translate to them how to relate with God. I don't want to talk about relationships so much here because we're going to that. So godliness is not about unleashing the attributes of God in your children. It's about unleashing the attributes of God in your children and helping them build confidence of their identity in God. That's what spiritual intelligence is about. Your children holiness is not the only attribute of God. Excellence is an attribute of God. Do your children understand that they must be people who work with excellence in mind? Creativity is an attribute of God. Can your children start thinking of what to create, how to create solutions in the problem that is around them? It starts from the little thing in the home. Your child pours water, he's shouting, "Mommy, come and mop it." And you're running helter-skelter to come and mop it. Well done. You're doing well for your children. Your child should be thinking solution.